The wind screamed like a wild animal as Victor Hale drove through the lonely mountain road. Snow beat against his car windows, making it hard to see anything outside. The weather report had warned everyone to stay home, but Victor never listened. He wanted to spend the weekend alone in his mountain cabin, far away from business meetings, fake smiles, and empty parties. Victor Hale was a millionaire. He had everything money could buy, a big house, expensive cars, famous friends. But none of these things gave him comfort. His heart felt empty, like something important was missing. Maybe that was why he loved the mountains. Here at least the silence was honest. The snowstorm grew stronger. The road started disappearing under a thick blanket of white. Victor slowed his car. "This is bad," he muttered. The sky was dark even though it was afternoon. Snow spun in the air like angry ghosts, covering everything. He checked his phone, no signal. "Great," he sighed. He decided he would continue for 5 more minutes, and if the road became worse he would stop near a safe point. But before he could think more, a sudden sound made him jump. A small, distant cry. Victor frowned. Was it the wind? He lowered the window slightly. The freezing air slapped his face. But then, there it was again. A cry. This time it sounded sharp. Human. Victor's eyes widened. "No, this can't be," he whispered. Who would be out here in this deadly storm? It was already dangerous for cars. No one should be walking. He stopped the car on the side of the narrow road. Snow instantly began piling on the windshield. Another cry echoed. This time louder. Clear. It was definitely a child. Victor felt a strange fear inside his chest. He had no experience with children. He lived alone and avoided emotional situations. But he could not ignore this sound. He pulled on his heavy coat, grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. The wind pushed him back like a wall of ice. Snowflakes hit his face painfully. Every breath felt like knives inside his lungs. But he kept walking. "Hello," he shouted. "Is anyone there?" No answer. Only the wind. Victor turned the flashlight left and right. Everything looked the same, white, endless, cold. He listened carefully. Then he heard it again. A weak cry. 2 cries. Like 2 small voices calling together. He followed the sound, stepping deeper into the thick snow. His boots sank almost to his knees. The cold bit into his skin. His heart raced. "What am I doing?" he whispered. "This is crazy." But the cries pulled him forward like a rope. After several painful steps, Victor's light finally touched something on the ground. A small shape. No, 2 small shapes. He froze. 2 children were curled together in the snow, holding each other tightly. Their clothes were thin, wet, and frozen. Their faces were red and pale at the same time. Twins. One was a boy, maybe 7 years old. The other was a girl the same age. Their tiny bodies shook violently from the cold. Victor dropped to his knees. "Oh my God." The little girl opened her eyes weakly. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Please, help us." The boy tried to sit up but fell back from exhaustion. Victor's heart pounded in his ears. He had never seen something so heartbreaking. He took off his coat and wrapped it around both children. They were ice cold like little frozen birds. "It's okay," he said softly, trying not to panic. "I've got you. I'm taking you somewhere warm." The girl held a small object in her hand, a silver locket. She clutched it tightly as if it was the only thing keeping her alive. Victor gently lifted both children into his arms. They were so light it scared him. "How long have you been out here?" he asked, but neither could answer. Victor fought the storm, step by step, carrying the twins back toward the road. His legs burned. His arms trembled. But he didn't stop. Not for a second. When he finally reached his car, he quickly placed the children inside and turned the heater to maximum. Their small teeth chattered loudly. The boy opened his eyes for a moment and whispered, "Mom, didn't come back." Victor stiffened. Their mother was out here? In this storm? He looked at the dark forest around him and felt a chilling fear. "Where is she?" he asked urgently. "Where did she go?" But the boy was too weak to answer. Victor wrapped them with blankets he found in the back seat. He rubbed their hands gently to bring back warmth. Then he noticed something. The locket the girl was holding had fallen open. Victor picked it up. Inside was a photograph. His breath stopped. His eyes widened. No, this can't be. Because he recognized the woman in the photo. His hands began to shake. The twins had a secret. And that secret had just turned Victor's world upside down. Inside the warm car, the twins slowly stopped shaking, but their faces still looked pale and frightened. Victor kept glancing at the photograph inside the locket, unable to calm his racing heart. The woman in the picture. Her eyes, her smile. He knew her. It had been many years, but he could never forget that face. He shut the locket slowly, trying to control the storm of emotions building inside him. This was not the time. Right now the twins needed help. He turned to the girl first. She looked at him with large, scared eyes. "What's your name?" Victor asked gently. "Luna," she whispered. "And you?" he asked the boy. "Liam," he said softly. Victor smiled warmly. Luna and Liam, beautiful names. The twins were still wrapped in his coat and the thick blankets. The heater filled the car with warm air, but their bodies were still trembling. "You're safe now," Victor said. "I won't let anything happen to you." Luna blinked slowly as if trying to believe his words. A minute passed. Then two. The storm roared outside, shaking the car. Snow piled higher and higher along the sides. Victor knew they couldn't stay on the road. "This storm is too strong," he muttered. "I need to get you to my cabin." He started the car again, moving carefully through the almost invisible road. The windshield wipers struggled against the fast, heavy snow. Inside the car, Liam whispered suddenly, "Are you a rich man?" Victor's grip on the steering wheel tightened. "Why do you ask?" "Mom said." Liam paused, coughing. "She said rich people don't care about kids like us." Victor felt a strange pain inside his chest. He didn't know what to say. He had spent years believing that money solved everything. Now 2 freezing children were telling him the opposite. "Your mom was wrong," Victor finally said, his voice firm. "I care about you. And I will help you." Luna watched him closely. Her eyes were full of fear and curiosity. Will you leave us too?" she asked. "No," Victor answered immediately. "Never." Those words surprised even him. But he meant them. Deeply. The car slowly climbed up the mountain road. Snow blew across the glass like white smoke. But Victor didn't stop. He kept checking on the twins, making sure they were still conscious. "Just a little longer," he told them softly. "We're almost there." After what felt like hours, the cabin finally appeared through the snowy haze. Victor sighed in relief. He stopped the car and quickly carried the twins inside. The cabin was warm from the automatic heating system. A soft golden light filled the living room. Victor placed the twins on a large couch near the fireplace. He threw more wood inside and lit a fresh fire, filling the room with heat. Luna sighed when the warmth touched her skin. Liam wrapped himself in the blanket tighter. "You'll both feel better soon," Victor said. He rushed to the kitchen, made 2 cups of warm milk and brought them to the twins. Liam held the cup with shaking hands. "Thank you," he whispered. Luna nodded weakly. "Thank you, Mr. Victor," he said with a smile. "Just call me Victor." For a moment the room felt peaceful. The storm continued to scream outside, but inside, the warmth slowly brought life back into the children's faces. Liam looked around the cabin. "Did you bring us here because you know our mom?" Victor's heart froze. He didn't want to answer. Not yet. He didn't know how to explain the past to them. He wasn't even sure what their mother had told them. So he said quietly, "You can tell me about her." Both twins looked at each other and nodded. Luna spoke first. "Mom said she would come back with help. But she didn't return, and we waited until our fingers hurt." Liam added, "She told us to stay together. Always together." Victor felt a lump in his throat. "What happened before the storm?" he asked gently. The twins exchanged a nervous glance. "Mom had a secret," Luna whispered. Victor's heart started beating faster. "Secret?" he repeated softly. "Yes," Liam said slowly. "She said it could change our life." Victor leaned forward. "What kind of secret?" Luna hesitated, then opened her small hand. Inside was the locket. "She said the man in this photo will help us one day." Victor felt the world freeze around him. "And she said, that man is the only one we can trust." Victor's breath caught in his throat. Only one man. Him. They didn't know yet. They didn't recognize him. But their mother had told them to find him. The truth pressed against his chest, heavy and painful. Luna asked softly, "Victor, do you know the man in the photo?" Victor swallowed hard. He stared at the locket. At the woman's face inside it. At the memory he had tried so hard to bury. And he whispered, "Yes, I know her." Luna's eyes widened. Liam sat up straighter. Then, "Do you know where our mom is?" Liam asked. Victor froze. He didn't know if their mother was alive outside in the deadly storm. He didn't know if he could find her. But he also knew he had no choice. He looked at the twins with determination. "I'll find her," he said. "I promise." The twins held onto each other tightly, hope returning to their faces. Outside, the storm raged on. Inside, a far more powerful storm was starting in Victor Hale's heart. Victor sat across from the twins, his hands tightly clasped together. The fire crackled softly in the background, but the warmth did nothing to calm the storm inside him. He had told them he knew their mother. But he didn't tell them how. Luna watched him closely. She was small, but her eyes carried a quiet intelligence. Liam sat wrapped in the blanket, still weak but curious. "What was she like when you knew her?" Luna asked softly. Victor felt his throat tighten. He wasn't ready to open the past. Not yet. The memories were too heavy, memories of a woman he once failed and never got the chance to make things right with. "She was kind," he said gently. "Brave. Strong." Liam's eyes softened. "That's our mom." Victor nodded. The twins looked at the locket again. Luna held it gently like something priceless. "She told us this man would help us," Luna whispered. "But we never knew why." Victor stared at the fire, lost in deep thought. He remembered the woman clearly. Her name was Elena. Years ago, she had worked at one of Victor's community shelters for single mothers. He had funded the shelter with good intentions, but he had stayed far away from real involvement. Elena was the one who had done all the hard work, helping people, understanding their pain, guiding them. She had been full of kindness, but her life had not been easy. Victor remembered how she once came to him asking for additional support for the shelter. He had refused, focused on business deals instead of people. He had watched her walk away disappointed. That memory still hurt. And now her children were sitting in front of him, freezing, alone, afraid. He had failed her once. He wouldn't fail her again. Suddenly, Luna's voice broke through his thoughts. "Victor, why did Mom say, never trust rich people?" Victor looked up sharply. "What?" he asked quietly. Liam nodded. "She said rich people take advantage. She said they hurt her once." Victor's heart pounded. He didn't know if Elena was talking about him specifically, or about someone else from her past. He felt the weight of guilt growing heavier. "I'm not like that," he said slowly. Liam looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. "We believe you," the boy whispered. Victor felt something warm inside, something he hadn't felt in years. Trust. The storm continued to roar outside. The wind slammed against the cabin walls like angry fists. But inside, the twins and Victor formed a small world of silence, warmth, and cautious hope. Victor stood up suddenly. "I'm going to try calling for help again," he said. He walked toward the window, holding his phone toward the sky. Still no signal. He moved around the room searching. Nothing. The storm had cut them off completely. He sighed heavily and turned back to the twins. "For now," he said, "we're safe here. But when the storm slows down, I will go out and search for your mother." Luna's eyes filled with fear. "You'll leave us." "Only for a short time," Victor reassured. "You two will stay inside warm and safe." Luna bit her lip. Liam hugged the blanket tighter. "Mom said she would come back," Liam whispered. "She never breaks her promises." Victor sat beside him. "She didn't choose to leave you. Something must have happened." Liam nodded, his small voice trembling. "She said she had something important to tell us. Something about our father." Victor froze. "Our father left us something," Luna added. "She said it was big, like a gift." "What kind of gift?" Victor asked, leaning forward. "We don't know," Liam replied. "Mom said she would tell us when the time was right. And then she said, the man in the locket could help us understand." Victor's breath caught. Elena had planned something. Something involving him. But what? He looked at the children. They were too young to know the truth. Whatever Elena had kept inside that secret was meant for their future. And now it was his responsibility. Hours passed. Victor made the twins warm soup, helped them drink it slowly, and wrapped them in fresh blankets from the closet. Color returned to their cheeks. Their eyes no longer looked empty. Gradually their fear eased. But the mystery didn't. As the wind outside began to weaken slightly, Victor stepped toward the window and watched the falling snow. This storm had brought him something he never expected. 2 children. A past mistake. A second chance. He felt a deep pull inside his chest. He had to find Elena. He had to understand the secret she had left behind. He had to protect the twins. When he turned around, he saw Luna holding the locket again. She looked at Victor with serious eyes. "Do you know where she is?" she asked. Victor hesitated. "No," he said quietly. "But I will find her." Luna nodded slowly. Then she said something that made Victor freeze. "Victor, what if her secret is about you?" Victor's heart stopped. He stared at her. speechless. Because deep inside he feared she might be right. The wind outside grew stronger through the night, but inside Daniel's cabin there was calm. The fire burned softly, spreading warmth in the room. The twins, Lily and Liam, slept peacefully under thick blankets. Their small faces looked calm, but Daniel knew their lives had not been easy. He sat on a wooden chair watching them. Something about them felt unusual. They were polite, brave, and far too mature for their age. They acted like children who had seen too much, learned too much, and carried too many heavy secrets in their little hearts. Daniel's mind kept repeating one question. Where were their parents? He waited until morning to ask. When the first light touched the window, Lily slowly opened her eyes. She blinked in confusion for a moment, and then she remembered where she was. You're safe, Daniel said with a gentle smile. Both of you are safe. Lily nodded. Thank you for saving us. No one else stopped. Daniel felt a sharp pain in his chest. No one stopped? These children had been crying for help in a blizzard, and cars had passed without slowing down? When Liam woke up, both twins sat beside each other holding hands tightly. Daniel brought them warm oatmeal and hot chocolate. They thanked him politely and ate quietly. But Daniel could feel it. There was something they wanted to say. Something they were scared to tell. Finally, Daniel sat in front of them, leaned slightly forward and spoke in a soft voice. Kids, I need to ask you something important. How did you end up alone in the storm? Where are your parents? Lily's spoon stopped in the air. Liam looked down at his hands. A long silence filled the small cabin. Daniel waited patiently. He didn't want to push them. He didn't want to make them afraid. Then very slowly Lily whispered, We can't go home. Daniel's heart tightened. Why not? Lily's eyes filled with tears she had tried to hide. Our father, he's gone. Daniel froze. And our mother, Lily continued, her voice trembling, she's missing. Liam squeezed his sister's hand harder, as if trying to protect her from her own memories. Daniel leaned back shocked. Missing? What do you mean? Liam spoke for the first time. His voice was soft but steady. She left to get help. She told us to stay inside the car. She said she would come back. But she never did. The room felt colder than the blizzard outside. Daniel could hardly believe what he was hearing. A mother going into a deadly storm alone? Leaving behind her kids to find help? How long were you waiting? He asked. Lily wiped her eyes. A long time. Maybe hours, maybe more. We didn't know. The snow covered everything. And we thought, if we didn't move, we would die. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment. These two children had shown more courage than many adults. They walked into a storm to save themselves, searching for anyone who would listen. Anyone with a heart. Then Lily looked at Daniel with a nervous expression. Are we going to the police now? Daniel shook his head slowly. No. Not yet. Both children stared at him, confused and scared. Daniel spoke calmly. I'm going to help you first. You need warmth, food, rest, and safety. After that, we will find your mother. I promise. A small spark of hope appeared in their eyes. But Daniel wasn't finished. He looked at them seriously. But before we do anything, I need to know everything. Every detail. Lily and Liam exchanged a nervous glance. Then Lily whispered something that sent chills through the room. Mr. Daniel, there is one more thing. What is it? He asked softly. She took a deep breath. Before our mother left, she told us something. She said if she didn't come back, we must find a man named Daniel Hart. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. Liam nodded. She said you were the only one who could save us. The cabin went silent. The fire crackled softly. Daniel stared at the twins, confusion and shock battling inside him. Their mother knew him? What? Oh. Before he could ask anything, Lily reached into her coat pocket. Her hands trembled as she pulled out a small, folded paper. She placed it in Daniel's hand. My mother told us to give you this, Lily whispered. Daniel slowly unfolded the paper, and as his eyes read the first line, his heart nearly stopped. His entire life was about to change. Forever. Daniel stared at the small folded paper in his hands. His fingers felt heavy. His breath slowed. The twins watched him with nervous eyes, waiting for his reaction. He unfolded the paper carefully. The handwriting was shaky as if written in fear or hurry. His eyes caught the first words. Daniel Hart, if you are reading this, I am in danger. Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. He looked up at the twins. Lily and Liam were sitting close together, holding hands. Their faces showed worry and hope all at once. Your mother wrote this? Daniel asked softly. Lily nodded. She wrote it before she left the car. Daniel lowered his gaze back to the letter and continued reading. My name is Anna Reed. Years ago you helped me when no one else did. I never forgot your kindness. Daniel blinked. Anna Reed? The name hit him like a distant memory. He remembered a young woman he had helped almost 9 years ago. She was scared, alone, and trying to escape a dangerous relationship. Daniel's heart accelerated. He kept reading. Daniel, someone is after me. Someone dangerous. I thought I escaped him, but he found us again. I don't know if I will make it out of this storm. But my children, my twins, they must live. Daniel swallowed hard. His mind raced with 100 questions. Why didn't she come to him earlier? Who was after her? Where was she now? His hands shook as he continued. If something happens to me, please protect them. You are the only person I trust. And, there is one more thing you need to know. Daniel paused. The room felt frozen. Lily and Liam watched him anxiously. He read the final line. The twins, they are your responsibility for a reason. Please forgive me for never telling you the truth. Daniel froze completely. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. What truth? He read the last handwritten words, words that shook him to his core. Daniel, they are your children. The letter slipped from his hands and fell to the wooden floor. Lily gasped softly. Liam stared in confusion. Daniel leaned back in his chair, stunned. His mind felt blank at first, and then flooded with shock, fear, and disbelief. His voice came out in a whisper. My children? Lily's voice trembled. Mr. Daniel, what does the letter say? What did our mother write? Daniel didn't speak for a moment. His world had just shifted. His past, his present, his future. Everything had changed in a single heartbeat. He picked up the letter again with trembling hands. Finally he looked at the twins. Their faces were small, innocent, scared, and suddenly, everything made sense. Their eyes, their voices, their courage. They reminded him of someone. Of himself. Daniel took a deep breath. He didn't want to frighten them. But he also didn't want to hide the truth. Your mother, he said gently, she trusted me. She knew me from many years ago. The twins listened quietly. And this letter, it says that I must protect you. He paused. That I must keep you safe. Lily's eyes softened. So you will help us? Daniel nodded slowly, though his heart was still racing. Yes, I will help you. I promise. But he didn't tell them the full truth. Not yet. Not until he understood it himself. Suddenly, Liam asked quietly, Mr. Daniel, do you think our mom is still out there? Daniel's chest tightened. He didn't know. The storm was deadly and she had been gone for hours, maybe longer. But he couldn't break their hope. Not now. We will find her, Daniel said firmly. I won't stop until we do. Lily wiped her tears. Thank you, we trust you. Daniel turned toward the window. Snow was still falling heavily. The storm wasn't done yet, but neither was he. If someone dangerous was after Anna, if she had disappeared in the storm, if the twins were truly his children, then this wasn't just a rescue. This was a mission, a fight, a responsibility he never knew he had, but now felt deeply in his soul. He tightened his jaw. He would find Anna. He would protect the twins. And he would uncover the truth behind everything, no matter the cost. Daniel felt a new kind of fire inside him. The storm outside was powerful, but the storm inside him was stronger. He paced the small cabin, holding Anna's letter tightly. My children? The words echoed in his mind like a loud bell. He wanted to think, but he didn't have time. Anna was still missing, and someone dangerous was hunting her. He looked at the twins, who were now resting under warm blankets near the fire. Lily leaned on her brother's shoulder. Liam held her hand. Daniel whispered to himself, I must find her before he does. He grabbed his coat and flashlight. Lily immediately sat up. Where are you going? Daniel knelt beside them. I'm going to look for your mother. Don't worry. I will return soon. Liam frowned. But the storm, the snow, you might get lost. Daniel tried to smile. I won't. I know these woods. But inside, fear tightened his chest. The storm was still dangerous and the forest was huge. But he didn't have a choice. He stepped outside into the freezing wind. The search begins. Snow blew into his face like tiny needles. The cold cut through his clothes, but he kept walking. He followed the trail where he had found the twins. Their mother must have walked further into the woods. He scanned the ground with his flashlight. Footprints. Small, then suddenly bigger. Heavy. His heart skipped. Were these Anna's footprints? Or Someone else's? The snow had partially covered them, but the larger footprints looked fresh. Daniel whispered, "Someone else was here." His pulse sped up. He moved faster. Branches cracked under his boots. The wind howled. The forest felt alive, dark, cold, and watching. He reached a fallen branch where a torn piece of fabric hung from the bark. A scarf. Anna's scarf. He grabbed it with shaking hands. "Anna, where are you?" He kept going until he reached a narrow path between tall trees. Suddenly he heard something. A sound in the distance. A voice? No, more like a groan. He ran toward it. The unconscious woman. Behind a cluster of snow-covered bushes, he saw a shape on the ground. A body. Daniel rushed forward, heart hammering. It was Anna. Unconscious. Covered in snow. Barely breathing. Her lips were blue. Her clothes were wet. Her face was pale. He knelt beside her. "Anna, can you hear me? Anna?" Her eyelids moved. Barely. She whispered something, but he couldn't hear. He lifted her gently. "I'm here. I found you." She looked so fragile, like she could break. Daniel picked her up and held her close to his chest to warm her. "I'll get you to safety. I promise." He turned back toward the cabin. But the forest was silent. Too silent. Footsteps behind him. As Daniel took his first step, he heard snow crunch behind him. Not the wind. Not an animal. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Intentional. Someone was there. Watching. Following. His body froze for a second, but he didn't look back. He couldn't risk it. Anna needed him. The twins needed him. He tightened his grip on her and began walking faster. The footsteps followed. Closer. Daniel whispered, "Not now. Please, not now." His heart pounded. His breath came heavy. The forest felt tighter around him. Suddenly, a low voice echoed through the trees. "Anna, you can't run forever." Daniel's blood turned cold. He didn't look back, but he moved faster, nearly running, holding Anna with all his strength. The voice came again. "You think you can hide her? Give her to me and no one gets hurt." Daniel gritted his teeth. "Over my dead body." He kept walking, pushing through the snowstorm. Closer and closer, the cabin's dim light finally appeared in the distance. He whispered, "Just a little more. Hold on, Anna." Her head rested on his shoulder, and her weak voice cracked out one word. "Please?" Daniel whispered, "I'm here. I won't let him take you." He pushed through the final hill. The cabin door opened. Lily and Liam were standing there, eyes wide with fear and hope. Lily screamed, "Emma!" Daniel rushed inside, locking the door behind him. But before he shut it, he saw a shadow in the distance. Still. Watching. Waiting. This wasn't over. Not even close. Daniel locked the cabin door quickly and pushed a heavy chair against it. His heart was beating fast, and Anna lay weak in his arms. Lily and Liam ran to their mother. "Mom? Mom, please wake up." Lily cried. Daniel placed Anna gently on the couch near the fire. Her skin was still cold, but she was breathing. He covered her with warm blankets and rubbed her hands to bring back warmth. Liam looked at Daniel with scared eyes. "Is she going to be okay?" Daniel nodded firmly. "Yes. I found her just in time." But inside he wasn't sure. Anna was shaking, whispering something under her breath. Daniel leaned in to hear her. She whispered one name. "Marcus." Daniel froze. Marcus. The man who had chased her in the past. The dangerous man she had escaped from. The person who was outside just minutes ago. Daniel stood up and checked the windows. Snow covered the glass, but he could still see a dark shape standing far away, watching the cabin. He whispered to himself, "He's waiting." Anna wakes up. After a few minutes, Anna slowly opened her eyes. Her voice was weak, but she managed to speak. "Daniel, the twins, are they safe?" Daniel sat beside her. "Yes, they're right here." Lily and Liam grabbed her hands tightly. Anna's eyes filled with tears. I thought I would never see you again." Daniel touched her shoulder gently. "You're safe now. But Anna, why didn't you tell me earlier? Why didn't you come to me for help?" Anna closed her eyes in pain. "I didn't want to ruin your life again. I didn't want to bring danger to your door." Daniel shook his head. "You didn't ruin anything. You should have told me the truth." Her voice trembled. "I was afraid." She looked at the twins with sadness. "I was afraid you would reject them, reject me, because of our past." Daniel felt something heavy in his chest. Years of guilt. Years of not knowing. "I would never reject them," Daniel said softly. "They are innocent, and they are mine." The twins looked up suddenly. Yours? Lily whispered. What do you mean? Anna began to cry. Daniel took a deep breath. It was time. He looked into the twins' eyes. Your mother wrote a letter, he said gently. She told me the truth, that I am your father. Both twins stared at him, shocked. Lily covered her mouth with her hands. Liam's eyes filled with tears. Daniel continued, voice soft but steady, I didn't know. If I had known, I would have searched for you. I would have protected you. Liam stepped forward slowly. So, you're really our dad? Daniel nodded, his eyes shining. Yes, I am. Lily suddenly rushed into his arms, crying. I always wished for a dad. Liam hugged him next, tears streaming down his face. Daniel wrapped both of them tightly in his arms. For the first time in many years, his heart felt full. Anna watched them, crying softly. You have a family now, she whispered. The final confrontation. But the danger wasn't gone. A loud bang hit the cabin door. The twins jumped. Anna's face turned pale. It's him? Marcus. Daniel stood up immediately. Stay behind me. Another bang. Then another. Daniel knew the storm was his only advantage. Marcus couldn't break the door easily with all the snow blocking it. Daniel took a deep breath and shouted through the door. Leave them alone. They are under my protection now. The banging stopped. Silence. A cold voice replied. This isn't over, Daniel. She belongs to me. Daniel's jaw tightened. You will never touch her again. Or the twins. There was a long silence. Then the sound of footsteps fading away into the storm. Marcus disappeared. Anna collapsed in relief, crying. Thank God, thank God. Daniel returned to her side. He won't hurt you ever again. I will make sure of it. A new beginning. Morning came. The storm passed. Rescue teams finally arrived at the cabin. Marcus had vanished into the forest, but the police promised to search for him. Daniel, Anna, Lily, and Liam were taken to safety. At the rescue center, a doctor checked Anna. She was weak, but she would recover. The twins sat beside Daniel, holding his hands. Anna looked at him with tired eyes. What happens now? Daniel smiled softly. What happens now is a new life. He looked at the twins. A safe home. A warm future. And this time, I won't disappear. Lily leaned her head on his shoulder. Promise. Daniel kissed the top of her head. Promise. Anna wiped her tears. Thank you for saving them. For saving me. Daniel shook his head. No, you saved me. I didn't know what I was missing until I found you all in that storm. He pulled them all closer. The twins smiled. Anna smiled weakly.